my loves, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another tea time. I know, I feel like it's been a little while since we filmed a little tea time chat, so whatever you're doing, have a little break with me. I want to just talk and express my thoughts on why I think every woman should live alone at some point in their lives. I am drinking the Pucker 3 Mint tea today. I do believe that every single woman in the world, if possible, if they're able to, should experience living by themselves for so many reasons, and I'm going to break it down. So if you're at home somewhere and you're thinking, no, I would never live by myself, I'm too scared, I'm too fearful, girl, I have been living by myself for 5 whole years. I'm still alive. I actually feel like I am a better person for it than if I was, say, living at my parents' house or whatever. I haven't actually lived with my parents, my mum or my dad, for, I want to say, at least 8 years or more. I went to uni in Birmingham, so that was for 3 years, and then when I came back, I didn't go back home. I went to an aunt's house. So I actually haven't lived with my parents for quite some time. So that was 3 years at uni, 2 years out, 5 years here. So actually it's been 10 years. You learn so much. Let's get into responsibilities of living by yourself, of just living out of your parents' home and having to step into that adulthood, whether you like it or not. You have bills, so you start to learn the real importance of bills and just energy wastage, or the importance of not having all the lights on all the time, or running the water for too long, or unless you're rich, then you know you can do all those things. But even if you are rich, you realize, because you're the one paying for it, that actually you have a lot more, you place a lot more value on those things that as a child or as a, you know, person living with their parents, you would think less of, even down to, you know, your internet bills or your phone bills, whatever the case may be. All of those things are now on you, or at least for me. So ever since I left uni, or actually was at uni, I haven't been funded by my parents from before uni. Actually, I've been funding myself, like, unless it was like obviously living at my mom, she'd pay for food and stuff, but anything else I wanted outside of home, I would have to pay for. But not only do you learn responsibility and bills and money management, oh my gosh, you learn how to manage your money so smartly, I would say, because you realize that if you splurge on certain things, you're going to be eating Indomie or noodles or something crazy, oven food, for a week or however long. You're gonna have to survive it. And I think also, because you can shut that door, it's actually okay to learn those lessons by yourself. So that's something I would actually recommend, to make those mistakes when you live alone, because you learn so much and you realize, I'm not gonna do that again. You know, it's all well and good. I used to say to my dad, like, you tell me not to do certain things, Dad, but I cannot live off of your experiences. There's certain things I am gonna have to feel to hear it. I don't know who else says this, but Jamaicans say, those that don't hear must feel, right? And if you don't hear, you will feel. And so said, so it's done. You know, so many things that my parents didn't want me to do or spend on or waste money on or get credit cards for this stuff. You sometimes have to do it to really feel the bun, to be honest, for you to say, yeah, okay, I've learnt my lesson and I'm not going to be doing that again. And you have to be self-sufficient, and you have to learn to be independent. So many of these amazing qualities and skills that I think all women should strengthen. And not saying that you won't learn those things being with your parents or with family members or whatever, but there's a huge difference from living independently in a home with family to living independently in a home with nobody. You have to rely on yourself. I can call my mum and ask for advice, but she is not coming to my house to help me clean or do this or do, she ain't doing it. I also think you get to learn about yourself, you guys. I can only look back on the past 5 years living here. I've learned so much about me. Just in general, you can monitor the things outwardly that affect you a lot more. Living alone allows you to have that space to be able to reflect, to be able to plan. Me as a Christian, it allows me to have mad prayer nights where I can just wake up and say, right, I just need to pray, I need to scream, I need to shout, or I need to just dance around, I need to walk around naked, like whatever. You can do that. You can even leave your house a mess for a week, and guess what? Nobody outside knows. If you're going through something, like I have recently, you guys, gone through a week to 2 week period where I was just not necessarily myself. And my house was a mess. My house was actually a mess. I didn't want to do anything. I did not want to cook. Then I got ill. And then I was like, right, I've learned my lesson. I know what I can do for my body and what I can't do. But also, sometimes you need to go through that period to just get it out of your system. So now I'm so much better for it, but you can't necessarily do that if you've got a parent telling you, tidy up your room. And it's not that it's a bad thing, but sometimes human beings need to feel their way through things rather than just jumping or covering over things, but then still having these internal issues that they need to deal with. Sometimes you need to sit and be still. That was a mouthful, but I hope I'm making sense. On the topic of not having to answer to anybody if you're not in the mood to, or if you don't feel good, or having to cook for anyone else. So I know, you know, I have friends and family members who still live at home, for example, that they'll have their days where they cook or whatever, or they're responsible for dinners or this or whatever. When you live alone, you're just responsible for yourself, because you really have to manage all areas of your life when you live alone. There's nobody kind of telling you, Jade, remember, it's your day to cook today, or remember, you need to do this because someone's coming around and you're going to entertain friends. You literally have to take on all of that. And I think it makes you a stronger and multi-dimensional person. I feel like it matures you so much. And I have felt like an adult for a very long time. Like, before I bought this home when I was 22, I was an adult. I think that's why I was able to do that, because even before that, I was living at an aunt's house, but I was pretty much like a tenant in her house, you know? We didn't do anything really together. So I had that period straight after uni where I went to Birmingham and wasn't with any family. So I've had to be very mature, independent, and a grown-up for 10 whole years in total, that I think this is why my mind can think the way it does and why I don't need people as much. Like, I was raised as a single child, so I'm my mother's only child, and it was me and my mum since I was 4 and then Richie came along. So I have been raised to be self-sufficient already, and I think that's why I've thrived in this environment. I'm used to being alone. I'm used to being self-sufficient and not needing a bunch of friends around or having siblings around. However, I think there's so much strength in that as a woman. Now, I also want to take it further and say that if you're a woman, a young lady that would like to be married in the future, I know that culturally there are a lot of cultures out there, including a lot of our cultures. It's kind of like a taboo thing for a woman to go and live alone or leave her parents' home without a man. And you guys know, if you guys have come to any of the events I've talked at and stuff, you guys know how I feel about this topic. I am all about women doing what they need to do for them, whether there's a man or not, all right? A man is not going to miraculously make you a mature woman that is able to be a wife just like that. It doesn't work like that. Whatever you're aspiring to be, you become that over your own experiences as an individual, and you meet someone there. As a woman, we all know how society is. Women tend to juggle a lot more than men in marriages or in cohabitation and stuff like that, especially when you add on children. As a woman, you're usually the primary caregiver. You're also a wife, and a lot of the time you might do the cooking a lot more, the cleaning a lot more. I don't subscribe to that. I'm just saying statistically and, you know, society wise, that is the norm. You end up having to know and learn how to juggle loads of things. I believe women should have this time just for themselves, because again, if you are someone that is going to get married, have children, live with your husband in the conventional way, you know, live in the same home, have 2.5 children, maybe with a dog, whatever, you're never actually going to have that time to be alone. And I can think from my mum's point of view, my mum's never really lived alone, and that's something that she actually has said to me, like, she wishes she had experienced that because she thinks she would have flourished more, learned more about herself. You always learn about yourself, but sometimes learning about yourself in solitude and independently is so much richer than having to learn about yourself amongst the noise or amongst the people, living with people. I am actually working on getting my mum on the channel, so stay tuned. And you can do things like audio Nando's whenever you want. Be right back. Hello, Richie. We're currently in the middle of tea time right now. And I just feel like it's an opportunity for you to be able to look back one day in the future and say, I remember when I had my apartment or had my house or whatever it is, or had my bedroom that I used to rent, you know, in Brixton or wherever. And it might not have been the most glamorous place, you guys, but it's all adding to you. It's all adding to your story, your experiences. And it's so enriching. Like, it is so enriching. And I'm sure you will hear that. And that's why you see so many bloggers these days leave their parents' home, and even if they're not going to buy a place, they're going to rent a place, because they realize the importance of that piece. I don't know how long this video is going to be, you guys, but I really wanted to come on here and say this because I'm aware that there are people out there, women out there. I've spoken to some of you guys who say, you know, I really want to, but I just feel like financially, like, I don't know if I'll be able to afford it, or I will, but it might be tight. Okay, let me get something straight. Money will come and money will go, but your peace of mind, your freedom is the most important thing. There are girls out there that have spoken to me that have said, you know, they're in toxic environments, their family members or their mom is the worst, makes them feel like this, you know, all of their money they have to give to their mom, and they're not able to do, like, there's a point where you have to be able to be selfish. Like, you are a growing person and you cannot allow your life to be robbed by an overbearing parent and things like that. I respect my parents, but they also have to respect me. Respect goes both ways. And so if you're in a place where you are in an environment that might be abusive, that might be just negative for you, that you might feel anxious, that's what drove me even more to get out, regardless of whether I would be broke after buying my home, which I was for a little bit. It didn't matter, because coming into this place, I had no, you guys know the story, I had no furniture, I had no flooring for like 6 months. I had to wait 6 months until like Christmas to get a sofa. Like, you guys know this story, okay? I did a lot of DIYs, I was not rolling in money, but you grow and you grow and you grow, and then you can change things and you can better things, and then guess what? You can then maybe afford to move to a better place, but you have to do whatever is best for you. And if you have the funds to do it, you just need to step out in faith. You know, I have a friend who finally did move out, and she is so happy to have her own space now. And she's just said to me, you know, I wish I did this earlier. So that's all I have to say for you guys. If you are in a position to, I highly would recommend women out there, my followers, to have that experience. Even if it's not permanent, just have the experience. I believe men should live alone too at some point in their lives, but a lot of men's dynamics are just so different to women's, you know. I think anyway, we ain't gonna get into it, but I do think women are more mature, and so we thirst for more mature environments quite earlier on. But that's a story for another day. Just like I believe men should know how to cook in this day and age, in 2021, every man should be able to cook. And that is that for my tea time. So you guys, I'm gonna finish my tea, I'm gonna chill and eat my Nando's because I can. I hope you enjoyed this video, you guys, and also in the comments let me know some other topics that you would like to talk about, because I want to do these more often, like maybe weekly, every other week. And I also want to get some friends on this sofa with me so we can delve into these. But I do have a video coming up on mental health in the Black community with my friend who is a doctor. Love you all, have a wonderful week ahead, and think about what I said. Mwah. Bye.